Okay, so welcome back, everybody. I've been on a break, just to attend to some messages and make some calls. Some people were having an issue coming in online. It's not my personal page, so you have to go to according to SOBJ to be able to tag on. So we had to get that right. Anyways, so like I was saying earlier, I said a lot of us Africans especially have issues with discovering ourselves, and by so doing it is difficult to live our lives to the fullest because we are so particular about living life to a pre-programmed standard, most of the standards which are according to a certain religious conviction, not even our personal ones, because we get born into a family that practices a certain religion, and a lot of times a lot of us just go along with the flow of what we were brought up with. And even when we see contradictions and things that we logically know are not right, we still are forced, not like physically forced, and in some cases physically forced to remain, in the way of life. And this is why we have issues. This is why a lot of us don't move on. We don't move further than a certain state or standard in our lives. We are stagnant because of our mentality. We are stagnant because of our living in some kind of I can almost call it jail, not physical, but in our minds. I'll take, for example, a situation where you were brought up that life is supposed to be in a certain way. You are supposed to live life and, hey, hi, Mr. West, I can see you on, thank you for joining in. Thank you. I'm still going to be going on for another 15 minutes. Thank you. I look so hot. I'm blushing right now. Thank you so much, So join in the discussion, and, challenge me if you think I'm saying something that doesn't make sense. That would be a good one. So I was saying, when we get a certain age, especially Africans, you're expected to do certain things. Nobody teaches you what is next. You just get to know that, okay, this is what they are asking of me now, expecting of me. Most of the times it's about you getting married at a certain age. The pressure that you get as a person, as an African, growing up in an African home. Funny enough, you would think it would end only in Africa, but it really follows even up to Europe and America. Because I know family members living outside Nigeria that are still undergoing the same pressure. This is because you have been brought up to live according to a standard. Whosoever brought up that standard, I don't know. And at this point, I don't really give it, DAMN. What I know is these are ways of reducing our capacities, our possibilities of really growing, of being bigger than we get to be. You can imagine a graduate, maybe you graduated at age 22, and they're already thinking of marriage for you. Knowing what I know now, it will be a total mistake for anybody in their 20s to go get married. Believe me, it doesn't work out in most cases for you to be married as early as that and live a meaningful life. When I say meaningful life, I'm talking about a life where you understand the essence of life. Not a life that they have programmed for you, like you have to get married, have kids, and send them to school or send them to whatever, and they leave and you leave. No, I'm talking about a life where you have a goal, where you are able to pursue your life meaning. I bet a lot of people don't even know what their life meaning or meanings are supposed to be. A lot of people have no clue their essence on heart. They just know they were born to live, and they pray for long life and good health, prosperity, and then that's the question. For me personally, sleeping, waking up, eating, going to work, taking care of the kids, doing the normal things people do when they are my age is not enough. It's not enough at all. That cannot be the end of life. That cannot be the only reason why I was created. I believe that every person on earth has a role, a greater role than the basics. I believe some of us were created to educate. I believe some of us were created to motivate. I believe some of us were created to enhance, to facilitate. And I believe some of us were created to invent as well. And this is what I'm talking about. The way we were brought up, if the whole world was going to be like that, then there wouldn't be any technology right now. There will not be any development right now. Because a lot of people just grow up to live. And live, I mean like basics. Just live, wake up, party, go to church, go to mosque, go to work, go to school, keep your family, and the cycle goes on, and then you die, and then it continues. And this is one of the problems we have in Africa. Our mentality, our orientation needs to change. We need to start bringing up our children to understand that they have a goal greater than just sleeping, waking up, going to parties, going to school, going to work, and repeating the same thing over and over again. We need to start thinking about how to make our children understand that there is more to life than just the basics. And this is what I want to give to young parents, especially those that are still in Africa, because in the West, your kids get to grow up and they are, affected by what is going on around them. They are affected by other kids, school, the government of whichever country they are living, has something to say. But for those living in Africa, where the majority are still in the vicious circle of not finding themselves, I would want to give it to you. Go back into yourself, even as a parent, and go and try to figure out who you are. Go and try to figure out what your essence in life is. Because then and then only you will be able to give that to your kids. And then you'll be able to give it to your community. There has to be a reason for life than just sleeping, waking up, and growing up and getting a job. There has to be more to life. If you're the type that likes to sing and you think you can minister to people through songs, and go for it. If you're the type that like to do drama, I got a couple of friends that are really doing very well. They have found themselves and they are really doing greatly in those positions they are now, because they are going deep down into themselves, doing what they love to do. I'm not talking about the work you have that pays your bills. If you're lucky to be doing something you love and paying your bills at the same time, kudos. But there are things you can do alongside your day job that is meant to be you, that the real you. Stop the going around buying ashwabi, just for the sake of it. If you don't want to buy, you don't buy. You can use the money to do other things. Stop going around to churches where your pastors are richer than you. I have said it before and I'm going to repeat it now. If you attend a church and your pastor doesn't have any other job apart from pastoring you, and your pastor is richer than you, then you are a fool. Because the essence of your pastor, being a pastor, is to be able to cater and better the life of the congregation. So if you are living in poverty and you have a pastor that is living high, flying around in private jets while you cannot even buy a car or even a bicycle, and this pastor has no other job than just doing the pastoral thing he does, then you are a fool if you continue sowing into that church. That is part of not knowing who you are. That is part of you living the slave master's life, because we have been programmed. We have been programmed. They have used the Bible to program us. They have used the Quran to program us. And we are living a fake life that was programmed for us by the slave masters. And until a lot of us can break away from living life according to a book that was collated by a chief slave master, and we can start living our life personally as Africans, going back to our roots, then we are going to continue living in confusion. Then we will never find ourselves. Because if you look at living according to a religion that is foreign to us, that has nothing to do with anybody of our color, all the stories in the Bible, for example, has to do with people somewhere else. The interpretation of it does not tally with who we are as a person, but yet we force ourselves to believe everything that was written. Until we start finding God in the first place, our own way, according to our origin, and using that to determine who we are personally, there is going to be continuous confusion. There's going to be continuous confusion in our personal selves, in our homes, in our communities, and in our countries. So the question is, what can you do to break away from the generalization? What can you do to break away from status quo? It's so simple. It's so simple. And this is me trying to round up. Just live according to your inner feeling. Everybody has it. Some call it intuition, some call it the sixth sense, your inner mind, some call it the Holy Ghost. Yoruba people will say Aramba Misoro, you know. Igbos have a way of qualifying it. Other people around the world, they have their way of, you know, giving it a name. I call it the me, the inner me. I live according to the rules of me. And what I mean to say by that is, in as much as I have religion to guide me, and listen, to guide me, it does not control my life. I do not live according to the words of the Bible, or of the Quran, or of the book of Buddhism, or yoga, or whatever. I live according to the rules of the universe. You know, what I don't want, I don't do to others. What I don't want, I say no to. When I have questions, I ask. When I'm not satisfied with the answer, I keep asking. If what you're giving me is not good enough for me, I say no. I live my life. I structure my life. I focus on my goals. I let you do yours. I don't put my life and other people's life in a kind of junction where I depend on others. And I don't expect others to depend on me to live their lives either. I live according to the rule of what I am feeling at the moment. So I am not in a state of confusion with anybody, with anything. there is no contradiction. If everybody can try to look into themselves and find what suits them, you know, don't do anything that is above your head. Things you cannot afford, you don't buy. Decisions are made based on what you feel is right. Based on what you think if somebody does to you, you will be able to accept and like. I don't hurt people intentionally, you know, and if I get to know I have, for one reason or one way or the other, without knowing you hurt you, you tell me, I say sorry. In as much as it's not disturbing my life. Sounds a little bit selfish, but that is discovering who you are. Okay, this is how everybody else does it. Why do you have to do yours differently there? If Bill Gates was doing things the way everybody else was doing it, he's not going to be Bill Gates. If Dangote remained in his village and did not do what he did to break out, he's not going to be Dangote. If Wizkid did not break out doing what he loved to do, he's not going to be Wizkid. And so and so and so. Take Beyonce. For example, Beyonce is Beyonce because she's living her life. She's living her dream. So how many of you there are living the same lives? We all aren't going to be on the stage performing. There are things you know how to do. I know a sister that can cook so well. I would give anything to have her egusi soup. She cooks so well that I wonder why she doesn't have a restaurant. And she loves cooking. But yeah, having a restaurant, how many people will come? Yeah, especially in this situation, this, that. You put yourself in a corner by already giving up before starting. If your breakthrough is going to come from cooking, hey, I know another one that can sew perfectly. I gave her an idea. I'll bring clothes to you, or you get clothes, you sew it. I'll take it to my work. We go sell it. Oh yeah, sister, we will do that one of these days. We'll do that. Never came up with the idea. And then you just stay in this thing. You say, yeah, normally I don't understand if that is the way I should be. Hey, find yourself. Find yourself. What is it you like to do? Stop living according to the standard of another person. Stop. People go to church every day. They are praying and crying and lamenting, and God is not going to come down to help you become who you are supposed to become. You can pray from now till next 10 years for breakthrough. You need to break through for yourself. You need to decide what moment you want to break through. God has given us the possibilities. Our body, and this is a good one. Recently, I have discovered that a lot of us do not understand how self-sufficient our bodies are. This body, the anatomy, is so designed to replenish itself, to satisfy itself, to heal itself, to develop itself. So in most cases, if you really want to look at it, and that's the way I say it, an individual do not need anybody else to be able to survive and be happy and live a good life. And don't get me wrong, I'm not talking about not having a partner or not living amongst others, but individually, we are capable of surviving and living blissfully. But that means you have to find yourself. You have to find the individual in you. And a lot of people don't have a clue who they are. A lot of people don't have an idea what that means. You know, this is something to think about. If you're a mom, you're a father, you're a husband, you're a brother, a sister, a grandfather, grandmom, I would advise you take a couple of minutes every day to look into yourself and find out who you are. Ask the question, am I doing me right now? Am I living the life that I am destined? Call it destiny, or I have been created to live? Or am I living the way the pastor says I should live? Am I living the way my imam has programmed me to live, or the way my mom or dad want me to live? And that is another dangerous one, because most of our parents have an idea of what our lives are supposed to be like. And this is the terrible part of it. They have lived their lives. A lot of them lived their lives according to their parents' standards. So they will pass it on to you as a child, expecting to be able to control your life, decide what you're supposed to live, even as an adult. I say something. In as much as I am above 18, which is supposed to be the legal age of adulthood, I think that is the time to let go, because then I am supposed to be able to make decisions on my own. So a lot of African parents, they will still want a country alive at 40 something. If you let them, they will steal your life from you, all in the name of loving you. No, that is programming. That's the way they were programmed to live. And so they will use that idea to live your life for you and ask you to live life the way they want you to live life. What you're doing wrong is you're not living at all, because you're living according to the rules of your mom, your dad. An example of why it shouldn't happen is when you are in a terrible relationship. Maybe you have a very violent partner, and you go tell your mom or your dad about it, and they're telling you, yeah, stay and keep praying, God will change him. I have taken your dowry, so you're ease right now. If you have a parent that is telling you that, run away, and don't ever listen to them. Because at the end of it all, when they die, you're going to be stuck in that life. And you will have wasted years, loads of years, that you're supposed to be living your life, living theirs. All in the name of, I don't want anybody in my friends' circle to know, yeah, my daughter is having issues, my son is having issues. Come on. Break out, break free, find you, do you. Reach for your goals. If you don't have goals, this is the beginning of a new year. Start setting goals. If one of your goals is going to be to find out who you are, please do. Please do. Because on the long run, you are not going to regret it. There is nothing as beautiful as living a life that you have chosen. A life that you can say later, I did it my way. The moment we start doing that as individuals and we spread our heart to our communities, we are going to see changes in Africa. Lots of positive changes. Because we are going to start affecting ourselves, making ourselves wiser. No government will be able to manipulate us. For the last example I want to give is the situation of being submissive to an authority. In this situation, the African culture teaches us to be respectful. They call it respect. But in so many ways, we take the respect to another level. I'll give an example. Anybody that is in power becomes a mini-god. We would know that these people are doing us wrong. But because they are in power, you will see an old man of 60 years old going on their fours for somebody that is younger than their first child or even their last child, all in the name of position. They call that respect because he has power. That is no respect. That is no respect. And then when they're doing something wrong, we dare not say anything about it. Because you don't want to be disrespectful. And we will be suffering in silence. they will be manipulating us, and people, masses, loads of people will just be watching and saying nothing. The fear of disrespecting an authority that is wrong is what is given to us from childhood in an African culture. This is wrong. We should be able to say no to things that are wrong and stick by it. When it is wrong, and we should not accept it. This is how it starts. If you know you as a person and you know what is good for you, there is no how you accept somebody else's program for your life. And that goes straight from the family unit to the communities and to the country. Because if you can say no in your homes, then you're going to be able to say no to the community leaders. And so we're going to have to start changing our ways. We're going to start having a change of thoughts. What we can accept should be different from what we are forced to accept. What we are accepting should be based on what is good for us, not because of what somebody thinks is good for us. So I would want to give to everybody listening to me right now that there shouldn't be any limitations in your life created by another person. And any personal limitation you have created by yourself should be broken down. Because normally we are self-sufficient. You feel it when things are going well for you. You will feel it when you are on the right track for your life. Anything that becomes very agonizing is not good for you. Be it a relationship, be it a church program, be it a church way of life or Islamic lifestyle or a traditional requirements of you. The moment you start agonizing to live according to a standard that was created by somebody else, then you're on the wrong track. Anything that is good for you will make you smile. Anything that you're doing out of yourself that is good for who you are will make you happy. So if for any reason somebody knocks on your door and they expect you to do things that isn't coming out of you, say no. Say no. There is no problem in having one friend less. There is nothing wrong in doing things by yourself. Our body, our person, as created by God, was created self-sufficient. Please keep that in your mind. We were created self-sufficiently. So that means anything we actually face up to do, we can do if we put our might into it. There shouldn't be any limitations if we don't create limitations for ourselves. Except you don't want to do it. Anywhere there is a will, there is always a way. But first, you have to find out who you are. You have to find out who you are. There is something I came across recently that brought me to a realization that if you and I take our time to educate others, encourage others to figure out who they are and go after their dreams, there will be a lot more better people in the world, and we'll be able to influence our generation in a positive way. And that's why I'm doing this, because it has been on my mind for a long time to, be able to talk to people, interact live and talk about ideas. And this is one of my ideas. Find yourself, figure out who you are, and go for your goals. Go for your goals. I have something I wrote down, and I would like to actually read it out to you all. It's quite simple, but it's a rhyme, so Please bear with me and rhyme along. And with these words, I'm going to end the session of today. It goes like this. Aspire to acquire what you desire. Whatever you admire, aspire to acquire. If on the road you begin to perspire, do not retire, because even in Isaiah and Jeremiah and the book of Obadiah, it says it is the desire of the Messiah to grant you your heart's desire. So when you get tired and you begin to perspire, do not retire, but look unto the Messiah to rekindle your fire, and never will you go haywire for not getting your desire. So you guys, I want to tell you to refire and continue to aspire, because I'm going to be doing the same in this new year. Happy New Year to you all. And thank you for joining in. It's been a pleasure talking to you all. In 2 weeks' time, I will be dealing and treating the questions that will come out of this live session. So if you have a comment, or you have a question, or you have something you want to say as a result of, my session tonight, send me a message. You can put it on just right below the video. And in 2 weeks' time, we're going to come back and we're going to treat the questions and the comments together. And in 2 weeks' time, I'm going to be telling you what the next topic is going to be, so that, people can get ready and, to be easier to talk along the line together on these topics. I already have an idea what I want to talk about next 2 weeks. But I am very anxious to read all your comments. It's been a little bit difficult reading the comments at the same time. Hey, Mr. West, thank you for being loyal. I can see other people watching as well. Thank you all, and I hope to see you in 2 weeks' time. And I'm really looking forward to reading from you. Thank you. This has been According to SOBJ. Have a great night, and God bless you. Bye.